Hey there, Julia here. Today I am bringing you up to speed on what's recently been added to my fountain pen collection since the last time we did this earlier this year. For this though, I'm not counting my pen show acquisitions, but there are videos for both the Chicago and St. Louis pen shows, which I feel very grateful to have attended, and I had just excellent hauls at both of those. I do feel like I've been acquiring a lot, honestly, but I've also been selling and gifting things that I feel like passing along. I'm still having so much fun exploring and trying out new brands, models, makers, while also understanding what I love about pens, inks, and the writing experience in general. So we're hanging out today, not only so I can bring you up to speed here, but with pens that you've seen and currently inked recently or ones that you'll see soon, but just to document where I am. I think it's fun to have a little check-in in my ink journal as well. Have a little spread set up for it, and I got these cute little stickers from Serica Studio. I love her fountain pen stickers. They're just so cute. But yeah, I have this broken down into two categories: gifted pens and all me. So coming from my stationery wallet mostly. I know last time we did cup pens as well, and technically one of these is a cup pen, but I wasn't gonna make a whole other section just for that one, but I feel like it's a special cup pen. So let's go ahead and get started. The first new pen in the collection is this BENU Belle Paris. It is hand painted. It's gorgeous. I love this beautiful lavender color. And there are some sights from Paris painted in here, along with a nice little coffee cup and grapes. And I really love Paris. It was the first city that I went to outside of the United States, and I just fell in love with France in general, so was very excited to have BENU gift this to me. Now, I don't know if I even have a nib in here. Nope, I need to go run and get a nib. Actually, since I got this with a stub nib, it should be JoWo compatible, so yep, this is the Coffee Monsters JoWo nib in there. So I am just going to be dipping these with Pilot Iroshizuku Shinroku. Really love this ink. I happen to have it handy. And this is a Bonu Euphoria. Belle Paris. Gorgeous pen. Okay, the next one I got while in Philadelphia for work, a Main Street conference. And this is the Lami Allstar in Aubergine. And I just thought this was so fun. I love this really dark metallic purple and just that surprise of the lime highlighter yellow fluorescent grip section in there. And it has my favorite Lami nib, that coated black nib. And so I have had this inked up already since acquiring it, and of course loved it. So this one was an all me pen. This is the Lami Allstar. Next up is a pen that was just really all the rage whenever it released in April. And I kept saying that I didn't really need another SD. This one's pretty, but I don't know. But I ended up getting it, especially when I saw that it was regular SD price and not limited edition SD price. And so this is the collaboration with Coffee Monsters Co. And this little section here is by Jonathan Brooks. This section has been the talk of a lot of groups and just private message situations that I am in, but There's so many variations to this swirl here, and I was terrified when I got mine that I wouldn't like the swirl and it'd be a whole thing, but luckily I really like mine, and the color distribution is really nice. I have a different look on the back as well. Yeah, really love it. I actually got this nib ground at the St. Louis Pen Show, and this has a cursive italic on it by Matthew Chin, and it's been writing beautifully since. I am going to say that when I first got this medium nib, it was a little scratchy, and I do not say scratchy when it comes to my nibs lightly. I know what feedback is. I know when there's a little something in between the tines, but no, this nib was scratchy, and so that's all smoothed out and figured out now. This is kind of a fun little walk down fountain pen release memory lane this year as well. Next up, though, is not a new release. This is the Leonardo Momento Zero in Rosewood Ebonite, and it's a 2019 Pen Chalet exclusive, and I was gifted this by my pen dealer Joel, and I was gifted this because I was over in his studio a while ago and this pen was a little bit mangled, so it didn't have housing. The nib was like all crazy crisscrossy, and we were thinking that something was going on back here, and yeah, he just wasn't sure, and I think he was putting me through the ringer and was like, repair this, and I was like, I got you. It really wasn't that bad. Here is the nib, the original nib. As you can see, it was a broad nib, and this was way worse. I will tell you that I am very proud of myself for getting it to this state. It is, you can write with it, so that is good, but you can see that it's still, quite mangled, but not bad for my first go at trying to repair a super bent nib. So yeah, got housing for it, got a new Leonardo nib from Kirk with Pen Realm. And funny enough, even though this is a Yovo nib in here, the housing and the fitting for this pen is Bach. So Leonardo, I learned while trying to repair this, switched from Bach to Yovo at some point shortly after this release. And so that was a whole thing too, a whole confusion at first, but figured it out. And then I also figured out that this is just a blind, like a blind fill. It's not piston. We are doing the most here, sorry. So you have your converter in there, but the back of the converter sticks out here. And so you're able to fill your pen without having to take the pen apart, if that makes sense. And so once I figured that out, we were in good. And then it was just a little stuck. I guess the Ebonite had expanded and it was hard to get this on and off. And so yeah, some heat and a little bit of lubricant, and this pen is ready to rock and roll. And then it was gifted to me. Next up is this beauty from Zodiac Pen Company. I got this right after the Chicago Pen Show, and this is the Virgo model, and the resin is called Conversation Hearts. Love this. I love how deep it posts. It is super comfortable. I have already had it inked up, and as you can see, we need a nib here. So we're gonna bust back out the Coffee Monsters nib. It's just gonna get around as needed. Next up is this Opus 88 Mini. This is in the Tropical Blossoms, and this was gifted to me by Gold Spot, and I am glad that I ended up saying yes to this pen. I wasn't sure at first just because it's so loud and not my typical vibe, but I love it. I love the colors in here. There's a lot of ink that doesn't get play that matches with this really well. And at this point, I had been trying quite a few pocket pens, like this Colotino, the BENU Pixie, which this one should go on this list. I was gifted this by BENU. Okay, we're gonna put that there. I totally forgot about that. But I really enjoyed this one the best out of that little trio. For one, it's a vac fill and it has a shutoff valve, so that's really great for a travel. It posts nice and securely, and I've heard that was an issue before. I don't know if Opus 88 fixed that or if I just got lucky, but I haven't had any issues with the cap falling off. It's a beautiful writer and it's a nice size when posting. So at least right now, this is probably my favorite pocket pen and I really dig it. Yeah, totally forgot about the BENU Pixie set. There is a set of 3, the metallic dust set. I do have a little short on it that if I can, I'll stick it up here. But I just happen to have this one like in arm's reach on the desk, and it came with 3. One is silver, one is gold, one is bronze. This is the gold one. You can choose what nib size you want for each. This one has an extra fine nib. I think it's inked up with Birmingham Pen Company Polar Shadow, if I remember correctly. But these were gifted by BENU as well in my first try at the Pixie, and I like it quite a bit as well. The nib is really nice, even on this extra fine. You can put a Pilot Parallel nib in there, and that's awesome. It's a pretty good size posted, and the post stays secure. So yeah, really no complaints about this one other than, I guess, one, it's important to note that you do need a smaller converter if you're gonna go that route in here. So that Kaweco like foldable converter is in here now, I do believe. I think this set is called the Metallic Dust. Next up is another gifted pen, and this one is a vintage one. I was gifted this by Joel, dealer and friend, and he gifted this to me at our pen and planner meetup for helping him out at the Chicago Pen Show. I was eyeing this pen the entire time. I was trying to sell it to people so I wouldn't buy it, and I ended up with it anyway. This is the Parker 51. An excellent starter vintage fountain pen. Has a beautiful hooded nib. I love this taupey color, and I think very approachable as far as filling mechanism. I know it looks crazy whenever you open it, but it's kind of like your push fill. It works a lot like a pipette. You just press and the ink fills in here, and you can see when the ink fills. So you just press, 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 and it fills that way. So very simple, very easy, and yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous writer. I'm not gonna dip it to write with it just because I don't want to get ink all here and then have to clean it and maybe stain this. I just don't want to, so I'll just write the name of this one down. But more to come on this later because I do want to ink it up and I do want to do a video on some vintage pens. Let me know if you have any questions or anything you want me to answer on that. Next up, another gift from the lovely folks at BENU. This is the Bonu Euphoria Blueberry Sorbet. And this one wasn't even my idea to choose and get. At this point, the folks at BENU, I think, know my taste. And so she was like, what do you think about the blueberry sorbet? Do you want that one? And I was like, ooh, you got me. I totally forgot about that one. I love it. Yes, please. And so look at this gorgeous Euphoria. I do love the Euphoria model. The Schmidt nibs are super reliable, but so are the Yovo nibs now that you get. If you get a stub or any of the elastic nibs, those are Yovo compatible. So that kind of changed the game for me too, because I have so many Yovo nibs and custom grinds on Yovo nibs. So that kind of put these into play with all of those nibs. So we're gonna pop our Coffee Monsters nib in here once again. After that, I kind of went on a capless pilot shopping spree, maybe. This is the Pilot Capless and Starry Moon, and I really tried to resist this one. I really did, but it's just so pretty. I love the little moon and star imprints on there. I love the gradient. It's so dreamy, and I know that Pilot doesn't do stuff like this all of the time. I think this is the 35th Taiwanese anniversary edition, and I just had to. I just had to, and I'm glad I did, and I need to ink it up. But I got this one in a fine medium, which is typically a little harder to come by. And yeah, I'm going to be swapping these out with some other, and these I mean nib. I'm going to be swapping out the nib with a couple more compatible pens. But this is all me. Next up is another one that I attempted to avoid, but obviously did not. This is the Pilot Decimo. It's one of the Kobe gradation colorways in Harbor Mint, and this one has the gold hardware. This one came with either gold or silver hardware, and last year I got the Coastal Stone Gray gradation Decimo with the silver trim, and I just thought the gold looked so good with this one. But yeah, I caved, and it's gorgeous. I really love the colors here. It's a really subtle but beautiful gradation. And it's been a little fun trying to find some ink matches with it. It's a little harder to match, especially when you like darker inks like I do, but I did find a pretty good one here. Maybe I'll put up the photo of my ink matches for this pen. This one was unexpected. This is the Leonardo Magico in Sea Sand. And I got this one during the Atlas Experience pen sale, I think in June. And I wasn't even on the Discord watching this one. I was on YouTube just spectating. I try to be responsible and just not even get into Discord so that I'm not tempted. But I saw this one come up and I opened Discord so fast, and I was somehow the first person to claim this one, and I'm so glad I did, because this one is so pretty. And I've been loving it. Inked up with Diamine Nutmeg. That's what's in it right now. It has a medium nib, and it's just been a joy. I will mention it's a piston filler. You can see the little ink window here. So yeah, great pen. My VP streak continued with the Pilot Vanishing Point in the silver stripes. So I have this one in the gold stripes, which is an Itoya exclusive. I love that pen, but ever since I got it, I was like, I would really like the silver one as well, because I do love a silver gold combination together, the flexibility of that, if you will. But I didn't want to pay full price for the silver stripes, so it was just hanging out on my wish list for the last couple years. And recently I saw this come up on the virtual pen show over on Instagram, and I immediately reached out. It had not been sold. It was at a good price, so I grabbed it. Next up is a birthday gift from my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law. It was waiting for me after we got back from the St. Louis Pen Show / Florida trip. I'm just so thankful for this. This is the Platinum 3776 in the lavender and rose gold color. And it's just so pretty. It has a medium nib, writes like a dream. I had the, believe it or not, the Diamine Forever Smoky Mauve in here initially. And it was fine, but I just think that the nib and ink combination wasn't the best. It was a little dry coming out of this nib when I know that I've tried Smoky Mauve already in a couple of other pens and it just was not thriving in this one. So I chose a wetter ink and I have Birmingham Pen Company Nocturnal Lavender in here now and it's been A+. And funny about this, so both sides of the family, all the family utilize Elfster, which is a platform where you can just add things to wish lists and people can see them and mark them bought. And then other people don't buy you the same things for birthdays and Christmas and all of that. We've utilized that and it's made for very fun gift giving and very successful gift giving. But this was on a more private list because I don't necessarily want my family to be buying, you know, expensive pens for me. I just have a pen wish list that I share between me and Cam, and I think he shared this list with them, and that's how I ended up with this pen. But I love it. And then here is the cup pen. This is the Asvine C80, and I have not really broken into this yet, but I'm very excited to. Look at the crazy sparkle on this thing. So yeah, this is an Asvine pen. So it was, if I remember correctly, $25 US. And it's just crazy because it has a size 8 nib. So that nib is crazy big compared to, let's say, a size 6 nib. You can see the difference there. So to me, it was just super wild to get a size 8 nib in this beautiful hand-turned looking pen for $25. And it does have a medium nib. I can't remember what this colorway was called, but I'm just going to say Blue Sparkle for now. Gorgeous writing experience. It's insane. Do recommend. I will have all of this linked down for you below, but wow. So yeah, that is where I am right now with acquisitions. I do feel like it is a lot of acquiring, but the funny thing is I'm not really feeling overwhelmed. Like it could be worse. And there's just so many beautiful releases, but I feel like I'm not super impulsive on buying things. It comes with some thought, some weighing if I want to sell other things to acquire this new thing. But I'm just excited about inking and using new things still. So I think that's good. I'm still exploring. I'm excited about where I am and where I'm going with the whole fountain pen journey and the hobby. But let me know how it's going for you in the comments. What's your recent acquisition list looking like? Subscribe for more stationery fun, and I'll leave you with the latest to check out. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.